we're gonna try to catch, clean, and cook today. So let's see if we can catch some fish, maybe some redfish, even just some snapper. I'll probably catch you later on the fillet table, cleaning some fish, showing you how I do it. And then we'll get on to doing some cooking later. So let's get to it. All right, switched up, going white bait. Oh, got walloped, guys. Need a new one. All right, we're doing the classic 2-for-1. Not a great cast. Gonna get that in there again. Oh, I like that. Free fishing, a dangerous spot, and you got it. Snapper. A little too small for dinner, but right species. Do not want to get your fingers in here. I can see snook in here. Get eaten or no? Yep. Oh, nice snapper, guys. That might be dinner. Guys, we might have a dinner fish. Not a big snapper, but a nice one. In the boat, in the boat. All right, guys. We might have dinner. A little mangrove snapper, but just big enough. Something that'll still taste good on the grill. Circle hook at the top. Nice sandwich. These fish gotta be 10 inches. That's kind of a small size for them, but makes it easy to eat them. So, like this fish is, you know, almost 13 inches, which isn't a big fish, but still enough for a dinner. This trout just chased me up. Well, maybe we're doing a trout catch and clean. So I was just dragging my bait in, finishing up, and this trout just raced up and crushed it. Ooh, easy, buddy. There we go. Oh, just missed one. Come on, I got a nervous bait. Nervous bait. When I refer to a nervous bait, that's the bait is very skittery, very quickly moving on the water like that. That's a nice snapper, I think. And usually it's after they're getting chased by a fish. All right, guys, that's gonna be dinner. Do snapper catch and clean, and then we'll grill it up. Sweet. Oh. Alrighty, everybody, back at the house, back at my parents' house while we're cleaning up. I always like to chill my fish first. I think it's really important to chill your fish before you start cleaning them. So right now they're just icing right now, but it's important to make sure that your fish is chilled before you fillet it. I think it just helps the meat get a little bit more firm, makes cutting the fish and cleaning around bones and scales a lot easier. So I'd recommend chilling your fish before you clean. We get home, we put the fish on ice right away if they're not on ice already, and then we wash down the boat in the meantime while the fish chill. And then after, I don't know, maybe an hour or so, like the fish have been chilled for quite a bit. Longer is better, but it's enough for me to be able to put them on the table and start cleaning. So I'm gonna pull out some of these fish and I'll show you how I clean a few fish. Alrighty, so we're at the cleaning part of this catch, clean, and cook. We went out, we had a slow day, but we still caught some snapper for dinner, which was great. My dad helped out. We also caught some sea trout. So right now I am going to show you how I clean snapper, mangrove snapper that is, and spotted sea trout. Right now I'm icing them, getting them chilled. It just makes cleaning them a little bit easier. And I recommend that. And I also have a bowl of ice here just to be able to toss my fish meat on ice or in a bowl of water and ice after I finish cleaning up. So I'll get started on one of my mangrove snapper. So we didn't catch many big ones today, but we definitely caught enough for dinner. and that's what we're gonna focus on today. So pretty much I like to cut the belly to the top of the back of the fish, and then I'll work down the spine, and you'll see how I do this. I hold the fin back. Be careful with your knife. You don't want to cut yourself. You can sometimes scrape away some of the scales, get it exposed, but you'll just get a little line going here, and then come down right on the shoulder, and then work down the shoulder. And you got to be careful because there's the kind of the middle spines of the fish. You want to work right down that edge, and I usually get a little bit down, and then I'll pull this up and just kind of work myself back on this corner. And these fish do have a pretty recognizable rib cage, so I'm kind of just feeling for that. And once I find that, I'll just kind of work my way over it. Some fish you'll just cut that off, but I kind of work over the rib cage on these fish. So there's the rib cage. Pull the fish and just cut right off. These are pretty small fillets, just because they're small fish. It's still enough for easy meal, you know, fish sandwich, something for 1 or 2 people. So I'll get one of the fillets off, and then I'll work on the other side. Do the same thing, kind of get some of the scales out of the way. Cut down the body. Now I go down the edge. Right down the spine. And then I just take my knife and I'm just really carefully going right down the spine. I find that rib cage and I go just over the rib cage. And just like that, I got all the meat off this fish, and we got 2 pretty decent little fillets. And now I'll get the skin off of the fillets. So when you do this, I always make a little cut first, and then I'll put my thumb on the back side, and then I'll work back down the skin. And when you have fish that have pretty solid scales, it's pretty easy because you won't really cut through the scales that easily. And I just kind of like work my knife back and forth, holding that tail piece, and you'll get something just like that. So that's, you know, near perfect. And then I'll like clean this up, cut off some little pieces here, and get off any kind of unwanted pieces. Sometimes there's a little bones right in the middle, so I cut a little V right there to get that out. And that's what you're left with. That's 1/2. Put that on our bowl of ice, bowl of water. I'll work on my next one. Same thing. That one I didn't get as clean, a little bit more meat on there, but still just fine. Fine piece of fine fillet. Trim off some of that unwanted. Cut off a little section where there's some more bloodline and maybe a little bit of bone. And you're left with another small fillet, but still just great meat. These are just small fish, so you're not gonna get a whole bunch. But I'll kind of just run through this one real quick, just kind of showing you the same things I just did on that last one. So we got some sea trout today too. Sea trout are pretty easy to clean. I'll do the same pattern down here along the spine. It's a little trickier to get the skin off just because they don't have hard scales, but it's still like the same process that I'll do as with snapper. And since trout is a little bit more delicate meat, I'll actually finish preparing this side and then work on the other side of the fish, just because this has been exposed. So I'll cut here, hold, and I'll start doing my removal. Just kind of going side to side, light pressure. And that was pretty perfect. Didn't lose any meat on that fillet. Flip this over, make sure there's no kind of pieces that you don't want. Trim off the little edges. We'll take a little bit off of the centerpiece just to get some extra bones out. They tend to be along that mid vein. Trout often have worms, so I'm just checking for those. They're not really a concern for us, they just kind of burn out, but I can find at least one here, so I can just cut that out. There you go. It's a great trout fillet. So now we're gonna do the other side. Same thing. Make a cut behind the shoulders. Go down the spine. So that was another really good fillet, maximizing the meat that we're getting on this fish. I'll go ahead and take the meat off of the skin real quick. And again, it's just like light pressure down, because you don't want to cut through the skin. And sometimes that happens. It's unavoidable sometimes, but you want to maximize the meat you get. So that looked like I cut a little bit of skin here, so we'll check. And there's just a little bit here. The sea trout skin isn't the same as other fish, so this will really just kind of cook right off. It's not really a concern about eating like it is on other fish where there'll be scales and stuff, but or large scales or tough skin, so it's not really a concern. But I'll just, you know, clean off a little bit. So now I'll come back, trim off a little bit of this extra lining from the stomach. You know, don't need that in the fillet. Everything looks really good. Do my one little cut down the bloodline just to remove any extra bones that stayed. And then I do see one worm, just ever so small, and we'll just take that out. But otherwise it just would have cooked out in the meat. But there you go. So now the next thing that we'll do is we'll take this home either tonight or tomorrow. We're gonna cook this fish on the grill or maybe the air fryer. But we'll maybe do it a few different ways, and that'll be something else that you guys can practice at home if you want. I'll catch you in the kitchen. Hey everyone, I'm back home. We wrapped up our day fishing. It was a slow day, but we caught some fish. Fortunately, we were able to get plenty of snapper and sea trout for dinner. So I'm actually going to do a mesquite fish on the grill. I have my mesquite seasoning mixed with a little warm water and then some olive oil. And then I'll add a little bit of blackened on top. I think that just adds a little extra flavor. But I've already started to plate some of this onto my aluminum foil for the grill. But I'll just keep seasoning a little bit more of this, and then you'll see a little bit of that, and then you'll see me placing it on the grill. So now I have all the sea trout and the mangrove snapper seasoned with the mesquite. I'm gonna add a little bit of blackened Old Bay, just to add a little extra flavor, and we'll just like kind of tap this on. If I have any areas that kind of come on too thick, I'll just spread it around. But this is just something that I think adds just a little extra flavor to the fish. Alrighty, we got that all set. Fish is ready. So we're just gonna go put this on the grill. I just turned it on, it's warming up. And we'll just slide this sucker on. Got the grill going, it's nice and hot. And we're just gonna slide this sucker off. Just like that. Aluminum foil will keep all the flavoring together, all the seasonings, and I won't make a mess on my grill. Probably give this at least 10 minutes before I check on it, at least 5 minutes before I check on it, just to make sure everything's going right. And I'll really just watch them, you know, periodically to make sure they get cooked through all the way. But we'll check back in a little bit. We're gonna check this real quick. Ooh, it is looking good. Just a little bit longer, I think, but we're getting close. Alrighty, fish has been on for a little bit now. Pretty certain it's all done. So we're just gonna take this sucker off, go right onto our little cutting board, and that looks great. We're gonna take it inside, just eat it up. We'll plate up some fish for you just to show, but there you are. Alrighty, we're all done here. We have mesquite and blackened mangrove snapper and sea trout. We always love to serve our fish with a vegetable and some rice possibly, but we are just gonna dive in. This tastes so good, I've already had a few bites. But if you have any questions about the recipe, about fishing, let me know. We make fish a lot of different ways, and this is just one of our favorite ways right now. Other than that, we're just gonna dive right in. Hope you guys enjoy your time, and subscribe if you haven't yet. Have a good one. Bye.